Jeff Howard inline. These are cool. I like these frames. Similar to the ones that I already have. I don't know if this will be good though. I'll try them out. Green though. Green.
I'm just taking it down the street to the corner store just to check the brakes, because I have a feeling that my proportioning valve is bad. It's definitely aftermarket, and I may have not bled the brakes properly because the little slider that separates the front and rear got stuck on one side. We tried to MacGyver a solution. This is a 1983 engine block, and it's a 6.9. And I just don't think the factory spec freeze plug is going to fit. I think there's been enough corrosion and rust that doesn't have enough surface to grip on. So we tried to MacGyver a solution with a little plate of steel and some JB Weld epoxy. If that ends up popping out, I'm gonna have to get or custom make a rubber freeze plug to go in the spot. So I'm just gonna take it down the road, test the brakes. The most important thing was the brakes. All the money went into the injectors and the brakes, and other than that, I didn't really spend anything. That's an old battery from the RV that was drained down to 0, and we tried to bring it back to life. And I have a brand new Walmart battery in case we get stranded that's fully charged. The steering's kind of shot. I need to replace the steering gear with one that's been, I don't want to rebuild one, I want like a new one. There's only like 2 firms in America that actually make these things. So that's the only other thing I want to put money into is the steering. It's too sloppy. I could show you that. Like without the wheels turning, you can turn the wheel like shit. Pardon my French. And it is not fun driving at 60 or 70 miles an hour on a tiny little country road. But you could do it. So. I'd really like to also disconnect this hose and kind of flush the block, because yesterday when I refilled it, because I lost all my coolant, there was a lot of rust that came out in the water, and so it'd be really nice. I don't have the time right now just to fully take off the water pump and clean that sucker out, so it'd be nice just to flush it. We have enough coolant to make it to the little corner store that Alex Jones was talking about that sells liquor. It's like an old submarine. You know, there's these electrical domes. There's not a whole lot of stuff. We're gonna have to solve that. We even have one of these little things. If you've had an old truck, you would remember this, or even just in these 80s cars.
Someone walks around behind him apologizing constantly. I'm sorry.
Somebody who does research into like who he's going to be working with, they're like, you can say that joke around that person, but
see Bill walking towards someone and they just like throw him in a
push
direction.
Yes,
And they're like
exactly.
slow-mo
Like,
running, push him out of the way.
don't talk to Kiki Palmer.
I like the idea that he just has someone like behind him being like, I'm sorry, my bad, I'm really sorry. Like, you just have to ignore him. He's saying it's just Joe Biden. I'm sorry.
They hand out gift baskets, like apology baskets. Like there's just the
Here's
person
your muffin
phone.
basket. I'm so sorry, Kiki.
It's an edible arrangement of cookies. But they bring up her comments, which was no means. This was like a tweet that she made. It was like, it says no means no, even when it doesn't pertain to sex. I was at the bar the other day and this girl asked me 3 times for a picture, and I told her 3 times nicely that I did not want to take a picture with her. She still proceeded to film me against my will. And it says, if I went off, I would have been in the wrong, so I just nervously laughed while my privacy was invaded upon.
I really sympathize with this.
She's right.
I feel real like.
Let's
not totally be upset with her. Look, this is a valid point, Kiki Palmer, but let's talk about your career for a second. they're not going to replace Bill Murray.
They're not.
So I respect that you want to set boundaries and defend them. I really do. But like, just if you really want the movie to get made,
She has like an
just avoid each other.
inflated sense of her importance to this.
She is the replaceable element of this production. Her, I would argue that pretty much any of the people in
No
the
one
cast
is
were-
following her around having to go, I'm sorry, here's an edible arrangement. It's just Bill Murray.
And what kind of reputation is she building for herself by being this difficult to work with?
Yeah. Well, and then of course, but the media is not taking that. It's lost in translation.
I want to say like this expectation for privacy or like what she's describing shouldn't be considered difficult to work with, but it seems like if you think that you're gonna get Bill Murray to apologize for a joke or get him replaced from a movie.
Well, he did apologize. That's the problem.
Yeah, he did
bent the knee.
apologize. You think you're gonna get him replaced from a movie? Like, I think that you don't understand. I think that's a really big gamble to take.
This is one of those things where it's like the joke was always when we reviewed Peacemaker, like there's a character named Harcourt who goes out to the bar to drink.
His name's Hardcore.
It's a girl named Harcourt.
Okay.
Who goes out to the bar and drinks alone and then complains when guys come and hit on her at the bar. It's like, well, you're at a bar drinking alone.
I don't think you understand.
Like, if you could drink alone at home and not have to deal with guys hitting on you, if that's what you really wanted.
It's like you're swimming up against the tide.
Yeah.
Here. Like that's sort of why this whole situation exists.
Hot blonde woman at bar by herself does not get to be left alone.
So yeah, my high school art teacher, Mrs. Moran, is retiring this year, I guess, and she's having a retirement party. She's asked for those who can't make it to make a personal video for her, which I'm planning on doing. But I also want to just give her a shout out because that's crazy to think that like it's got to have been like 10 years since I had her class and she tagged me on Facebook. So I'm honored to be, one of the students she taught. She was a great teacher, and I'm bummed that I'll miss the party, but pumped that I had her. I meant to shave. This is just how my facial hair grows in. But yeah, so it all started with this falling off the wall the other day. As you can see, I'm like, well, that's a problem. But also, I'm kind of trying to get a little more organized with my cord cable management. So instead of having like people stepping on cords and stuff, I have routed them up and through here so I can have a permanent acoustic setup in case I want to spin around and record acoustic instruments, which is what I do. Usually it's a hassle to set up all 3 microphones, etc. No longer going to be that hassle, so doing that today. And I'm going to put in some finer notes in the Chicken City Lullaby. Not to be confused with the Chicken City song, this will be the nighttime equivalent to Chicken Party. So, Chicken Sleepover, Chicken Lullaby. What do they call that? Chicken Moon Pie? No. That's what you get in Chicken City. My lamp went out the other day. No more salt lamp. But I was asked to remake it classical music. Apparently chickens like classical music. Just strings were requested, but it needs something a little more, I think. So, I think I'm going to... but chickens might like it. I'm thinking maybe piano, some kind of lead. It needs some sharpness to it. Somehow it ended up being 2 minutes. It's supposed to be 1 minute. So I gotta trim it as well. Guess I could use some drums. Yeah. So this is originally a song by Johannes Brahms, who I think died. Well, I know he died. I don't know when. But I'm pretty sure he made this song in 1706? Let me find. Oh, yeah, 1868. I'm going to be heavily criticized on this, but yeah, it is in the public domain. 1840s, published The Cradle Song.